Sloss and Humphries on the road.
Muggins and cream, cream and muggins, straight thuggin', living the dream.
That's our intro.
Fucking muggles.
Tickling the clit inside your head that makes you laugh. They said it can't be done.
I've been bitterly disappointed.
You've been bitterly disappointed.
Aye.
Who's let you down?
They can't do my eyes.
No.
Aye, I went in for my consultation. I was dead happy and all that. Like, I'm going to get my eyes fixed. Ready to fucking spend some money on it now.
Aye, treat yourself to some fucking vision.
Aye, I'm a little bit annoyed at that excuse, but...
Yeah.
Because, you know...
Is it that straight white men have things too good and
Aye.
they're just going to prioritise?
I was like, straight, my eyes are wonky. That's straight. That's straight. I don't trust you to do your job properly. I went in, I really enjoy the consultation, but...
So this, hold on, just
go on.
So I have been actively encouraging you for months, if not years now, to give laser eye surgery a go, since my dad had it done 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, and it changed his life. I mean, his vision's bad now, but there was a good 10 years of his life when it was changed for him. Yeah. And obviously, since then, the technology's gotten better, the surgery's gotten better.
And your mum, actually, I was texting your mum throughout it, asking about what your dad's prescription was before he got it done. He was like, oh, like, you got it done 30 years ago. And I was like, that must be an exaggeration. Otherwise, that would be a medieval.
Yeah.
I don't think lasers were invented then, Leslie.
I don't think it was 30 years ago.
They did it with sauna. They did it with sauna back then. Sauna eye surgery.
It could have been 20 years ago, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was expecting them to turn us away because of like the previous squint surgery, and that I could get double vision, and I've got like one dominant eye, and they don't want to fuck with the balance. Like, I'm kind of, even when I was talking to you, I was like, I'm excited about it. Like, to the point, like if I got my eyes fucking fixed 2020, which is what they promised, right? They're like, if you get this new eye design that's only available at Optical Express, upselling you for more money, but you want to turn left if you're getting your eyes fixed. You didn't want to go, just give us the cheap one.
Well, I mean, you say you don't. Our biggest fear was that your wife, renowned scrounger, Natalie Humphries, who would... like
coupon cut.
Oh man, she would coupon cut chemotherapy.
Aye, she would. Can I just get half?
Yeah, it's just I'm happy to lose one.
Oh, that's why she always wants half a pill, because she's stingy.
Because look, here's the thing. Especially in today's fucking economy, looking for bargains is a really good thing. I think it's a really good trade. It's something that I wish I had more of in myself, instead of just being as frivolous with money as I occasionally could be. But there's sometimes where I'm like, you owe it to yourself and your loved ones, if it's for proper self-improvement, if you can feasibly afford it, not to skimp on certain things. Like, there's a difference between flying somewhere cheap and the holiday is going to be amazing, so the flight doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be business on a fucking 5-hour flight.
Yeah.
If the hotel's
you
nice.
can go Ryanair.
And it doesn't even have to be a nice hotel if your entire plan is to go to the beach all the time and see the sights and stuff. Like that's stuff where me personally, I wouldn't scrimp. But when she does, I'm like, fair enough. It's better to be her way.
I noticed you stayed out the conversation when she was telling us that she sold something for £1.50 on Vinted.
Oh, my wife.
You were just like, just pretend I've got my headphones on, guys.
I'm like, yeah.
And I'm like, do they come and collect it for that much? No, I've got to go to the post office and package it, but the post just
But again,
but she's making sure it doesn't go to waste.
Yes,
and it's Caitlin's old clothes that mean a lot to her, and she wants them to go to her happy home. It's not about the £1.50.
No, it's about making it affordable for someone else, so that they can buy this thing that she spent maybe 9 or 10 quid on, and yeah.
So Natalie ended up having to change her heart and not coming to the eye test, because she's like, honestly, I'm so used to just getting up and putting my contact lenses in. She was like, I'm honestly just used to this is my routine. She's like, I'd still get up after my eye test and go to put my contact lenses in. Like, she's got Stockholm syndrome.
But you get that fucking habit in a couple of days. Like, in the same way that you're used to waking up every morning and having a cigarette with your coffee. And, you just learned to not have a cigarette with your coffee.
There was something in there about some manageable pain, or something was in the like little read up of like when you read about it. Not quite from Optical Express, but like, when you go and look for, like, not the person selling you it, but somebody talking about it, and they were like, not considerable pain, not considerable pain, but manageable. And she's like, I don't want to go through pain for something that I'm actually totally fine with. And what she's really saying is, £3,000.
That's nice.
So she decided that, and I was like, oh, you know what? I didn't even consult you on this. I just shouted for should I book you on for the same time? And like, I'm kind of strong-arming her into it. I was offering to pay for it as well. It's not like, I mean, my money's her money, so she probably sees it as like, just paid off the house. So whether it was about money, whether it was about paying, whatever the reason, she decided against it. And I just was like, well, this is important to me. I'm going to go down and try that. Like I said, I wasn't getting myself too excited about it, but I also did say that I'd cry if I had 20/20 vision.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you would. I would feel emotional for you.
Well, you go in, and what I loved about it, loads of machines. I'm going to say double figures of machines.
Are you sure that just wasn't your double vision?
Maybe it's about 5 machines. Approximately 5 machines. And, it's the one that I've played this one before. This is Cubat, right? Look at the hot air balloon. I'm going to blast some air into your eye. You're like, oh, don't have glaucoma. And then there was one where it was like, we're just going to check your peripheral vision. Like, they give us this thing and looked straight forward at that light, and then little lights were coming on the side. And I'm pressing the button when I did it, and I pressed it once, and I was like, cancel that one, I didn't see one. I just got carried away. I'm trying to preempt it. So like I said, I was like NQ64, just having a fucking swell time. And then I sat down with an optician, and he was like, oh yeah, I seem really healthy. And started like having a look at the stuff from the machines and all that. And then went and started doing the letters thing, which I'm always apprehensive about that. I don't know if I've spoke to you about this or if I've spoke about it on the podcast, but don't put lasers in my eyes based on how good I am at guessing.
Yes.
Like, figure that out without any input from me.
You approach eye test the same way you approach pub quizzes. Right?
I'm trying to win. I'm trying to win that motherfucker. If that looks like an N, but it might be an M, I'm going to say one of them.
Yeah. And I'm not going to tell you I struggled. I'm going to be like, confidently N. And if it comes up M, great. You give me the correct diagnosis. If it confidently says N and it's N, you're like, yes. Fuck, I lied.
The next one's an I. The next one, look, it looks like a G, but I'm not going to say C. It's a C. I'm not. So I did have to do that. It actually, I was like pretty good on them. My left eye's fucking like fine, right? And my right eye, I'm getting to the point where I'm guessing, but I'm pretty low doing on the chart, and like I'm telling them like, look, that could be a C or a G. I can tell it's not an O. It doesn't meet in the middle, but like there might be a G element to the bit where it curves at the bottom that I cannot make out. So I'm trying to be more honest than I've been in normal eye tests for my glasses. But like I'm still getting quite far down the chart. And then eventually he finishes and he goes, well, you don't qualify for laser surgery because your prescription's too high, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. Like my eyes are too bad to get laser surgery. Yet I actually confidently read out quite a few. Is it only people who've got good eyes that I get their eyes fixed? Is it like we're going to give you 20/20 vision, but your prescription's only like 1.5? Like I can get it in this eye. I don't want it in this eye. If both my eyes were like this eye, I'd be fine. That eye, slightly off. I can still drive. I can still play table tennis. Not very good. Still play pool. I played football with contact lenses in. Like I can get by. I can play computer games. I can read. It's not the best, but I can read. And they're like, oh, no, your eyes are too bad to do that. And I'm like, so this is for nobody that needs it.
Aye.
This whole... Because she was bragging about the surgeon that was going to work on us. He's like one of the top surgeons in the world. He's done like 60,000 surgeries or something like that. I'm like, what? On people that can already see? And you want to be successful? You can already see? Just fucking, oh, yeah, it's done. Have a look at that. Yeah. So... and then he was like, but you do qualify for lens replacement. You could get a lens replacement, but your eyes aren't bad enough for that. You might as well wait until you're older, and it's a problem, and you can't read, and everything's too blurry.
When you say lens replacement, you mean eye lens replacement?
Must be, yeah.
Or like lens on your glasses?
No, on my eye.
Okay, so that's a different surgery. Laser eye surgery is where they cut it down, flip it off, laser in, change the thing.
Yeah, update the software in the matrix.
Aye, but they can change the actual lenses in your eyes.
And I think it's because I was saying to him, I was going like, oh, well, my wife's like +6 and +7, so like it would have been pointless her coming in. You might as well just ask that on the phone. Like you're going to save me coming in if you just fund out my prescription before wasting my time coming here if it's such a small bracket of what you're willing to fix. And then he was like, oh yeah, she wouldn't have been able to get it done if it was higher than yours. But then when I got home, I found out Natalie's minus, which is short-sighted. I thought that meant you couldn't see short, but short-sighted is if you hold it there, you can see. Anything over there is gone.
Yeah.
Right. And then I think that's what they're good at fixing with the laser eye surgery. So Natalie might have been all right, but because mine's far-sighted, no. Am I far-sighted and like struggle seeing closer? I don't know.
See, that's such a weird thing because like it's like as somebody who has exceptionally good eyes, one of the senses where I'm like, I would always improve my eyesight. I think you would always want to improve your hearing. I tell you what, I'd be fine with absolutely reducing taste. I think if there was a surgery,
I didn't think it gets any lower for you.
No, it could. If it got any fucking lower, then I would like everything. If there was laser tongue surgery,
I think yours is feel though. Yours is all texture based, isn't it?
Well, that's another one. If they could reduce like feeling, imagine hot bothered you less. Or cold bothered you less.
Yeah.
Like if they could just laser your entire skin and they're like, right, but by the way, you now know.
Tone down the nerve endings.
Absolutely. I would have laser tongue surgery. Which, to be
Is
fair,
it leprosy you're after? Is that not what leprosy is? Well, the nerve endings.
Right.
Because you feel like a fucking superhero if you're a leper.
I also don't know how they would do the
Hey,
test.
Jesus, what are you doing? Fixing Iron Man?
Okay, Daniel, you're coming in for laser tongue surgery. So do you enjoy the taste of lemon? You're like, yeah, I enjoy the taste of lemon. Do you enjoy the taste of egg? Or eggs, I struggle with egg. I've tried it in several different ways, even with hot sauce, which I like. I don't particularly like egg. Okay, that's interesting. Very important question here. Do you eat ass? What? Do you have you ever licked butthole? I have.
Only if it tastes like egg.
I don't think you need this, man. I don't think it's a taste thing. I think this is you being a pervy little boy.
So I went and emailed them just going, can you just explain to us again why, but they didn't have an email option, they just had a chat bot option. So I just wrote on the chat bot because I was on the train back. And I was like, because somebody just explained to me why I got rejected for laser eye surgery because I didn't quite understand and just left it at the chat bot. And I still haven't got an email back. But the guy just didn't do it because he said it was like something about it being +4, you can't do on +4. And I was like, I'm +2.75. And he was like, oh, you write it down differently. And I don't know if that means like glasses and contact lenses and laser eye surgery because it's like closer to your eye. It's a different prescription. So I honestly don't understand why I got turned away when in my head I'm at 2.75. And then he was like, and actually like you could probably have a higher prescription. You could maybe have a 3.5 in that eye, which was still lower than what he said was the cutoff. Was
You're
4.
talking to me. I'm looking at you the way fucking bankers talk to me. I'm
Right.
like,
So that's how I was looking at him. Because I'm like, what the fuck? I feel like I've got one of the lowest numbers going.
Aye.
So you're only fixing people with like eyes that clearly work.
yeah, you
It doesn't. It upsets us to think how much people are spunking their money on something they've already got.
Yeah, it's not for people that are. We're not, because by the sounds of things, it did sound like we were close to like curing not blindness itself, but getting like you were curing people that were close to blind. Whereas it's actually the opposite. You're curing people who are almost perfectly sighted.
Yeah. Like, because if you show me something on your phone, I can see that thing on your phone. I just need to grab it and get it in place.
This big dick pill only works for people whose dicks are 7 inches long. Wow, I don't want. Who's that for?
Aye.
Like, what's the point?
Yes, exactly that.
Aye.
So, wee bit disheartened. Feel a little bit richer. Feel a bit richer.
Yeah.
But like, and I already decided what I wanted to spend it on.
What odds do you think that Natalie phoned them up beforehand and went, we've got a mortgage to pay, you're about to get...
He's never going to believe it, lad.
He's smart in some aspects, but if you just throw a bunch of numbers at him with points in them and then make sure, he always gets hung up on the difference between short-sighted and long-sighted. Just repeat those two things over and over again and give him different numbers with points in them. And I tell you what, I'll give you 500 quid so you can save us 5.5 grand.
And the optician's going, he'll never fall for this. And Natalie's like, boy, trust us.
I know my man. I just heard a thump. That'll be him walking into your front door. I'm sorry to hear that, bud.
It's all right. I mean, I'm getting this far.
I know, but it was such a promised land.
It was.
Aye.
And I'm like, ooh, I wonder if technology gets better by the time I'm older. I feel like they made a mistake. Like, I don't want to tell them how to do their job. But that just feels wrong, especially when you're telling us about like how much of a change it was for your dad, and that was so many years ago. And I'm like, I don't think my eyes are as bad as your dad's were by description.
As always, well, not as always, as of recently, and as hopefully continue in the future, we are sponsored by Thistly Cross Cider. Now, I've said this several times about Thistly Cross. Unlike a lot of podcasts and their advertisers, we were not approached by them. I approached them because this is one of my favourite drinks in the entire world. It has a number of flavours, from Scottish fruits to the whiskey cask to their original flavour to elderflower to strawberry. It's Scottish cider made in the east of Scotland. It's a small Scottish-owned business that have been growing for the past 10 years. They do it all by themselves. They have been doing it so well for so long that they have been winning particularly the whiskey cask one has been winning Cider of the Year 2023. I imagine they'll get it again in 2024 because as a prolific cider drinker, I've not tried anything else better.
I just want to say thank you to everybody that's used the discount code and shared it online and stuff, because it's nice to see you all enjoying what we've been banging on about.
Yes, so. It does make, and it makes us look infinitely better to them and the fact that you're now buying it. So if you are in the UK and you want to sample some of the best cider that the UK has to offer, you can go to thistlycross.co.uk, and by using the promo code ThistlySloss10, you will get a 10% discount. That's ThistlySloss10 at thistlycrosscider.co.uk. It's a perfect way to support the podcast, and it's a perfect way to support local Scottish businesses.
And absolutely post it on Instagram and tag us in and tag in Thistly Cross and give us something to share.
I'm desperate for them to the thing about myself that I wish there was a surgery for, right? And I know the way to improve it is to drink less, smoke less weed, do crosswords, read smarter books, be a bit fucking healthier. I've said this before the podcast, I'll say it again. Nothing gives me more suicidal thoughts than misplacing something, right? Mm-hmm. The things I always fucking misplace are my Kindle, which isn't always my fault. Caelan knows it's my book and I leave it places and he picks up.
And it's a screen, so that's like a source of entertainment and other like things.
Yeah. Oh no, but it's just a black and white one. It's not like the tablet Kindle sort of thing. So that goes missing all the time. But I can go a day without my Kindle because my Kindle's also on my phone, right? If I don't have my headphones, I really struggle to do. Not struggle. I'm less inclined to do chores. I will do so many chores around the house if I've got my fucking podcast on, right? But if I don't have my headphones, I spend 15 minutes walking around the house going, where's my fucking headphones? And I only put them in the same fucking 3 places. That's why I hate myself so much when dumbass me has put it somewhere else. And I know that people are going to be screaming, being like, the answer to this is you can get these the air tags or the cheaper version of air tags, and you just stick them on the thing. You connect it to your fucking phone, which I'm going to lose as well, by the way. But I'm going to connect it to Cicada's phone so that she can find my fucking phone. They're not. I know for a fact that there are GPS tracking devices this fucking big, right? That they're sticking on terrorists, right, and persons of interest in the government, right? Give me those. Give me. I will pay through the fucking nose if you just give me one small, tiny thing, the size of a contact lens, the thickness of it, to stick on the back of my phone. To stick on, not a key ring. How am I going to add a fucking key ring to my phone? How am I adding a key ring to my headphones? I need something that just goes. I wish there was just a bit of technology that I could just go headphones, and it would go here. Yeah. Here, I'm here. I'm here. Kindle here. Here I am.
Oh, there's got to be something in there that can set off an alert. Like there's one in the iPad. If I've lost my iPad, I can make it play a sound.
Yeah.
Like why the fuck is that not in everything? Like Natalie left her car keys to our car in her mum and dad's car when they sold it to We Buy Any Car, and we had to trace where the car was in this like depot in Edinburgh. They sold it in Glasgow in a car park, and it got taken to this place in Edinburgh, and we found the cleaners had like took everything out, like all of like any junk that's in a car, and put them all together, and the keys were ready to go into the waste. But before we found them, I looked up and it was, I think it was something like 450 quid to replace your keys from Audi.
Yeah, which is not
Just
how much
the
it
keys,
costs.
which I'm like, I had no idea I had £450 in my pocket when I'm riding around with that key.
You don't. It's a full scam. It's like, man, Tesla are just like, it costs £500 to replace the keys. You're like, no, it doesn't. It costs you maximum £10 to print the fucking key. It takes 30 minutes of your time to pass the code over. You just know
Marked up that shit.
you know exactly what
Closed
you're doing.
market.
Aye.
And it got to the point where I was like, if I hand this back without the keys, I'm getting fined 270 quid. It's cheaper to get fined than to not do them. So actually we're taking less of a hit, but still annoyingly a hit to do it. I'm like, if you're charging us 450 quid for a key, and I've got an app that tells exactly where my car's parked, why the fuck does that app not tell me where my keys are? £450. I want £400 of that telling us how to find the cunt when I misplace them.
I had to, you know when, I mean, I know you definitely know this, you know when you have a problem yourself, like it's a you problem, but you're in a relationship and you're like, I'm going to do everything I can to improve this thing, but we're married now, so you have to be involved in this, right? I love my wife, and not 100% of the time, not 90% of the time, not 75, not even 60% of the time, but not less than 50% of the time that my Kindle or my phone is missing.
It's under her bum.
It's under her fucking arse, right? And again, not all of the time, but most, genuinely most. Now, I lose and misplace things 4 to 5 times a fucking day. I understand that it's really annoying to be like that. But man, if I see Cara looking for something, the first thing I do, feel under my arse, feel under the fucking pillow.
Yeah, this place is like been checked.
I've done it, right?
Yeah. You just hold X a little bit on Baldur's Gate.
Just briefly search the fucking area. I had to say this the other day, and I'm like, I'm ill. Very selfishly coming off nicotine because we were doing fucking snooze in Scandinavia, so that's 100% my fault. If the next time you see me looking for my Kindle and my phone and you don't check under your arse immediately, I'm going to have to leave you. Because you need to understand, when I'm looking around the rest of the house, I'm not actually looking. What I'm doing is I'm going through the motions of looking and going, it's under her arse, it's under her arse, it's under her arse. And I've probably picked up my phone and my Kindle and been like, it's under her arse, it's under her fucking arse.
Like if I can't find the remote now, the first thing I do is look in the blanket that Natalie's bundled herself in, because it's clearly been on top of the blanket. Because you just put it on top of the couch, on top of the table, on top of something. You never put it under anything. So if it's not on display, that means the thing that it was on top of has been moved. And she'll have grabbed a blanket and swaddled herself up in it. And I'm like 100% in there. So like, yeah.
And it's 100%. It's a me problem. And like, I hate myself so much when I lose shit. Like I feel myself becoming you. I'm like, I can't, like the one.
Can it be this way?
I can't, like, it's hypocritical. Like,
that would be so funny if every time you lost it, you just go, right, Cara, I'm about to buy another Kindle. And she's going, oh, it's here.
I was so close to, she bought me my headphones. I love my headphones, right? It was a really good Christmas present, right? I love her for getting them. And today, when I fucking lost my headphones, I was just like, I hate wireless headphones. I hate expensive headphones. I miss the day. Because do you know what the fix would be? Back in the old days, I would just go on Amazon and I would spend 100 quid buying 50 pairs of plug-in headphones. And every time I fucking misplaced them, oh, they're gone.
Aye.
I can just go in the drawer, pull out another one. Fuck the dolphins, fuck the turtles. I don't give a shit. I'd rather have a clean house than a clean fucking planet. Give me my goddamn headphones. Whereas now I'm just like, I can't. Like, how is my beautiful wife spending £300 on fucking headphones that don't have a headphones? Hey, where are you? Here I am.
I don't think they exist yet.
They're Bluetooth. They're Bluetooth headphones. How is there not a fucking tracking feature on it? That's bullshit. Yeah. That is bullshit.
Mine are never not round my neck.
Oh God, I fucking hate.
Did you hit mute?
Delete. Go and delete that. I hate Instagram so much. Instagram. I've got a reel which isn't going out. I tried to upload it. It didn't upload, so I uploaded it a second time. And it's now got edit and post this reel. I'm like, I just want to delete the draft. There's no delete draft option. It just sits there the entire. Let us know when you want to upload this. The clip beside it is the uploaded version. How is delete not the number one option above edit, above share,
Repost,
above where's delete?
I've archived it.
Aye, what does archive mean? I keep doing that with emails.
Where's delete?
I go through emails and I click on them to delete, and it'll sometimes you got archive. I'm like, oh yeah, I just put them in a fucking box in the loft.
We can just sort that after.
I'm gonna.
I think it's off your account.
Hold on, let's just see if it was a.
Yeah, like archive. Like if you sometimes you try to like delete a fucking WhatsApp group that you were in, so that it's like just not on your fucking WhatsApp list, and it'll go an archive, and it's like in an archive thing of WhatsApp groups. Like as you know, when we deleted a friend from my life, I just fucking deleted a few groups with him in, and now they're not even deleted; they're just in this archive, which is like at the top of the thing where you click on archive groups, and I'm like, oh great, there's archive. Groups with me enemy in.
Yeah, I wanted to fully rid myself of this thing, and you're like, here's the thing that you're trying to get rid of, just in case you change your mind. Oh.
Fuck knows where my archived emails are archived, but just in case I ever need my fucking group on spam.
I had a moment the other day that you would have enjoyed. And I really wish you'd been there for it. It didn't work out in the end as much as I wanted it to. But I was not an outright cunt, but I got into a cunt off. And I was super thrilled to be in the fucking cunt off.
Was it when I left you in Bristol Airport by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
went different flights but arrived at the same time, but you were way well before me.
Yeah. We did the London Palladium shows, which were great. I started losing my voice, which was fucking hell on earth. Like to just.
You looked genuinely sad when you couldn't meet the fans after the Palladium gig.
Man, I fucking hate. I hated every second of being on stage. Not having range, like in your voice, and not
being able to shout,
not being able to shout, not being able to do inflections, not being able to
you go high pitched up sometimes as well.
Not being able to like do the higher and softer bits, like the just. Reduce the fucking pacing. Also, and this is this is going to be quite a complaining episode, and I do apologise for that, but you know it does. I am so close to messaging the Bristol. Was the name of the venue Beacon?
Yeah,
I'm so close to mentioning Bristol Beacon. Going find out who was sat right there in that fucking chair, who bought tickets, right? Because. Man, I'm successful, right? And it's a fucking privilege to be successful. It's a privilege to walk out to sold out audiences every night. So nothing.
But there's people who want tickets.
There's people who want tickets. So stop selling tickets to people over the age of 60.
That don't know who you are.
Who don't know who I am.
Who just come to the venue because it's arts.
Yeah, who just want to, I'm going to support the thing because my fucking wife's dead because she killed herself because I'm such a miserable fuck, right? I've no idea who this old decrepit fucking cunt there was, but the second I walked on stage, I'm like, he's gonna fucking hate this. And sure enough, the whole show,
guy.
just, and he didn't heckle or anything. I'm like, but I
It would
just
be
want.
better if he did, because then you could fucking do something back.
I was so desperate to shout out and just like I wanted to go get the fuck out, man. Get the fuck out of the show. Full refund. Not only full refund, right? I'll give you 100 quid to leave. Right, I'll give you 100 quid to leave, and we'll get somebody at the back of the room who got this ticket last because they were waiting for their payday to come in, and they bought this ticket last minute. I would much rather somebody at the back there was there instead of you sitting there expecting fucking high art from a stand-up comedy show. You fucking fat wanker, right? So I'm already like I was so close to blacklisting Bristol. Right, based on this one guy, 100%. I was tired.
It's fucking off-putting though, isn't it?
It's awful. It's awful. Do not sit in the front fucking couple of rows. Also, stop bringing your parents. Stop bringing your fucking parents to my show. I'm telling you right now, unless they've watched every single special I've done online, do not bring your fucking parents or your grandparents to my fucking show. And if you do, way at the back. They've got shitty fucking eyesight. They're going to die anyway. The memory's not going to last long for them. They deserve death. Don't give them 5 years of a fucking memory, right? Just let them fucking die. Let them watch Roy Chubby Brown or Peter Kay or any of this other fucking bullshit. Stop bringing pensioners to me fucking show. Right, so I'm annoyed at Bristol, right? I blame all of Bristol for this fucking one man, right? I am annoyed at myself. I'm annoyed at the whole thing. I've already had every time I've been in Bristol Airport, the staff there are just some of the worst. The airport's nice, right?
Yeah, it's all right.
It's efficient. We paid for fast track security just so I can get through. Just because I'm like, I don't want to queue. Fast track fucking security. 7:15 in the morning. My bag goes through and it gets pulled aside. 4 members of Bristol Airport staff stood there at the fast track talking to each other while my bag sits beside them. Right?
You got a flight to
Talking
catch.
5 minutes. No, I don't. But it doesn't matter.
They didn't know
I
that.
paid for fucking fast track. It's fast track. You do not get to talk as staff about anything that's not security in the fast track fucking lane. That is your responsibility. I'm sitting there, I'm fucking seething, they're talking about nothing. They're gossiping about their sad little fucking lives, right? It's just being like, oh, my mum does this, my mum's dead. And I'm like, I'm fucking so glad your mum's dead, right? I'm just angry. She's like, and then eventually they're like, oh, is this yours? And I'm like, oh, the only fucking thing in the yeah, that is mine. Yeah, it is. Go through. I make sure that they see me multiple times going to that little thing, like, how was your security experience today? And going, red, bad service. Wait for it to reload. Red,
Yeah, did
bad.
you?
Oh,
Just
for 10
stay
minutes.
there until your
10
due
fucking minutes.
flight gets called.
10 minutes, sir. Sir, it's acknowledged that. Okay, red.
Did you let them know as well?
Absolutely. 10 minutes. I fucking stood there. Red, bad service. Red, bad. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. It's not going to change anything. None of it's Bristol Airport. Like, why do you have security? Who's bombing Bristol fucking airport? If your airport gets bombed, it's because the staff you hire there are fucking awful. It's not jihadists. It's normal, regular
Taliban
people.
would get there and go, oh, someone's already beat with to it.
So, airport is fucking empty, right? And I'm like, oh God, I'm sick. I'm getting angry. I'm getting wound up by the smallest things. I'm just going to drink some water. I'm going to have some fucking medicine. So I go to Boots or Tesco, I get me water, I get me medicine, I sit down, and I'm just like doom scrolling on Instagram Reels. And I look up at one point, right, and there's a guy across from me, and he's just drinking a Starbucks coffee. And he looks at me and he sort of waves, and I've got my headphones on, and I went, and he turned his phone around, and it was me on Reels. And he went, yeah. And I went, me.
Turn the sound on. Turn the sound on.
And so we laughed about it and said nothing else. I'm like, oh, it's a really nice interaction. He goes away, and I'm just fucking sitting there, and this old cunt, and there's no other word for it, an old horrible cunt.
Hag.
Yeah, an absolute hag. She comes in a Starbucks uniform, and she's clearing all the tables, right? And I'm the only person at a table this whole thing. And she's talking to me. And again, old people don't know what headphones are. So I look up and she's talking to me, and I go, I'm sorry, I must have missed all of that. As if it's my fault that you've not updated yourself on what technology is. I go, sorry, I missed all that. She went, this is Starbucks seating. And I went, okay.
Oh, no.
And she's like,
Fucking airport, man.
oh, man, if
Like, yeah, the riffraff from outside.
if it was rammed, if there are 150 chairs here, 2 of them are occupied, right? If I was taking up space, 100%, I'm not a paying customer. I'm just sat in front of the board. I'm
It was
clearly
7:30 in the morning.
She's like, this is Starbucks seating, and I'm like, okay. She's like, you'll have to move, and I was like, I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm not going to move. You're going to have to get security. They're going to kill you if you do that.
That's
They're going to be fucking furious if you get airport security for this.
So I went, she went, you're going to have to move. And I'm like, I'm okay. I'm just going to sit here and wait for my gate to come up. She's like, I'll need you to move. And I'm like, I'm not going to move. Like, I'm just waiting until my gate comes up. Like, there's nothing. She's like, but you have to move. And I'm like, I don't have to do anything. Like, if you want, you can go and get security. And she fucking flips. She's like, I will get security. I'll get security right now. And I'm like, I urge you to go and get security. I would love, by the way, it's going to take you 15 minutes to get their fucking attention. I've just come from there. None of them are good at their job.
Yeah. They come back and they're like, this cunt.
Right? And I'm like, this is actually deep down all I wanted. All I want is a confrontation, right? And I'm in a bad mood. I'm ill. I've had a rough couple of fucking days. Like, I'm just looking for a fight in the world, and I've got it. From all the things I hate, an old cunt, a member of Bristol Airport security and staff. I'm like, this
You
is.
got them all railed.
I'm like, oh, it's Christmas time. I'm like, this is. I'm going to be the most stubborn guy when I tell you how fucking damn. When I say get security, she's like, I will get security. Edinburgh, gate 7, and I went, fuck. I went, my gate's just come up. And she was like, oh, that's convenient. I'm like, don't you dare. Don't you dare pretend. Don't you dare pretend that I'm now scared of security, right? And
You
she's,
still miss your flight because you fucking want security to
I
come.
stood there for an extra 10 minutes.
All your speedy
I-
boarding through the window. I pay extra for speedy boarding. I'm not getting it.
For 10 minutes, she went, well, now that your gate's going to get, you can go there. I'm like, I guess I can, right? And I'm just like, oh, no, she's won. Right? I take my fucking Kindle in my bag. I take my thing in my bag.
You got to spill something like.
Oh,
You got to. She's got to be tidying up after giving you that.
I couldn't do that. I refused. No,
I get me snoo suit and putting it on the table. There you go. And fucking get that fucking big bag of germs off there.
No, I couldn't have done that. But it was more like I want to make more fucking effort for it. I don't know where because that's me actually fucking with someone in the service industry and their job. Her thing wasn't part of her fucking job.
Yeah,
right?
she was being a job.
She was just being a cunt. She was just being an old cunt because her fucking fanny hasn't known moisture since the Nazis were close to fucking doing it all.
Well, that might have made her feel something, you know, that little like swatch of authority that she had that she never had over any of her family. Like she might be. She might just be flexing a muscle that she doesn't get to use anywhere else in the world and getting off on it. And that made it give her a little, clip might have felt something.
Yeah.
She frigging herself over it when she got you out.
I've been to Bristol Airport 3 separate times, and every single time I've had a problem with members of staff there, which is weird because like you get to Bristol and you're like, this is quite a cool liberal fucking place.
The accent's quite lovely as well, isn't it? It's not a nice accent, but it's a lovely accent. Mm-hmm. It's like melody.
Aye.
A bad melody, but melodic.
All right, me lover.
Me lover.
Oh, Gert Lush.
Cheers, Drive.
So the thing about the fucking Nazis, right, was right. All right, they killed a bunch of people, right? But at the end of the day, if it hadn't been the Jews, none of us would be angry.
Loved his dog. So I get back and Natalie was going, one of my friends went on Instagram. There you go. I got back and Natalie said one of my friends went on Instagram, and one of her favourite restaurants, there was this like hot guy on the picture in the restaurant, and she clicked on the hot guy, right, to see who this hot guy was, and it was like his girlfriend's account, and she clicked on the girlfriend's account to find out who her boyfriend was, to look at the boyfriend, and it said on the bio, editor of Sloss and Humphries on the road, and it was your brother Matthew. I wanted to tell him in the car on the way here, but I thought I'd wait to tell him on the podcast. She literally insta-stalked you all the way to your profile from a restaurant through your girlfriend's. Thought you might like that. Take that.
Well, and more further good news, the King's got cancer.
Oh yeah, aye. So he does. He done his own prostate. Put one of them big digits up.
Yeah. Fucking.
You've
been
been very, very prophetic this year, haven't you? Because even though you didn't say it on the podcast, on stage, you've been like rubbing your hands together at the thought of another monarch dying. Like, I get to see another monarch die.
Yeah.
And like that's been your bit. And so like there was a lot of tags on the page about like tagging the news story.
January had the airplane thing.
February had the King.
What's next?
I'm scared to get on the wrong side here.
Well, I mean, if you want the sad news, I can tell you exactly what it's going to be.
What?
Cara, this is like I don't say this in any sort of disparaging way about my wife, but
you always put these footprints around your point. You're like, I'm about to slag off me bird. There we are. There's the little bit of small. Do the small print first.
Yeah.
T's and C's. Anyway, this slut.
She is utter proof that, and she says it herself, that ignorance is bliss. I have been in a foul mood all morning, right? Because, well, one, I'm still recovering from my illness. I'm still fucking suffering from nicotine withdrawals. And sometimes, as everyone is aware, sometimes I'm just a miserable bastard. I keep so up to date with American politics because
Yeah.
American politics affects the politics of the rest of the world.
And share your sources, because you did tell me your sources, and I think a lot of people would like to listen to them. The podcast you listen to.
I listen to Today Explained, 5 episodes every week. It just tells you what's going on in the world. It's a good way to keep updated. I listen to the 6 o'clock news from BBC every night. I know the BBC, it feels like it can be biased sometimes. That's why I don't listen to the opinion pieces on it. I just listen to the actual reporting of what's going on in the world, which is often not biased. I listen to Pod Save America, which is a left-leaning podcast, but only left-leaning in this terms that like the American right is so much further than the right wing of any other developed country in the world. Pod Save America does have actual original Republicans who, you know, some of the very few Republicans left who have integrity. And look, I disagree with them on policies about capitalism and immigration and stuff, but they don't come at it from a fucking hateful place. They come at it from a logical place, and a lot of them have.
They want the best for the country.
Yeah, they do, and we just have different opinions on how you would go about it. And there are some Republicans out there who know what socialism actually is and don't confuse it with communism and don't fucking go through that thing of like socialism doesn't work. And it's like, well, you don't get to claim to be the greatest country in the world if you don't think you can make something work. That's. I also listen to read every day. There is a woman called Heather Cox Richardson who you can sign up to her newsletter, and every single day she will send you update of what's just going up in American politics every single day. Fox News is not news. It's very openly not news. There have been court cases where Tucker Carlson's lawyer has said that Tucker Carlson is allowed to say whatever he wants to say because it's so clearly what he's saying isn't true. That is clearly just a name.
Is it right what you said about Fox News is actually it's not even called Fox News, it's entertainment. It's an entertainment channel.
It's an entertainment network. It's not a news channel.
So it's genuinely a parody of itself.
It's legally not allowed to call itself a news channel because it is not, because they do not report facts. They report things they find in entertaining ways in order to rile up the right. This is why the entire Murdoch family needs to be eradicated from the face of the planet, because the damage that they have done is untold. And this is why it's very important that we keep an eye on what is happening on GB News, right? And what they're trying to do with that in trying to divide the country further. Most of America, most rational, good Americans and most good people need Ukraine to win the war against Russia. Because if and when Russia defeats Ukraine in the war, Russia will then feel emboldened and stronger to go after NATO. And if they go after NATO, that brings war it's closer to the fucking east. And they've already got allyship with China, and they've already got allyship with things.
And is it something to do with, I'm going back to when I read Tim Marshall's Prisoners of Geography, they get access to a warm seaport? And that strengthens the navy. Yeah,
and they also get all the fucking oil. Like Europe gets most of its fucking electricity and oil from Russia still. Now, the one thing about the war in Ukraine is Russia has just proved itself to be utterly pathetic at war. Like evil and indiscriminate and fucking awful, but easy to fend off. Now, instead of us all going to war with Russia and having a world war, the best thing to do is to just fund Ukraine all of the time in order to make sure Ukraine can fucking fight off. And imagine having there's a bully, right? And you can just pay someone who's hard as nails going, if you keep giving me protein shakes and maces,
steroids,
I'm just going to keep beating the fuck out of this. It is within everyone's fucking interest for Ukraine to be fully and completely and utterly funded. Now, the MAGA Republicans who are in the House and the Senate are still being dictated to by Trump from the outside. Trump wanted to run on the economy. He cannot run on the economy because Joe Biden's economy is exceptional, right? It's exceptional for his time. It's better than Trump's economy. And Trump's economy was only good in a sugar rush sort of thing. It was good at the start, and then it became shit fucking real fast. All of his stuff was tax breaks. None of it was really insustainable. Joe Biden has brought more jobs to America than any other president since 1955. What he is doing to infrastructure in the country it's really good. Is he an old doddery cunt? Yes, absolutely. Aye. Is he doing enough to stop Israel from being bastards? Absolutely fucking not. He is dropping the ball. But Trump can't run on the economy, so that's fucking done. The one thing Trump wants is to run on border security, right? He wants there to be chaos at the fucking border. Bearing in mind that while he was in office, he did absolutely nothing to stop anything at the fucking border.
No. Did he finish his war?
It's still ongoing. All of the MAGA Republicans were like...
So you can get around it?
All of the MAGA Republicans were like, we're not putting any funding into Ukraine unless you start putting draconian laws on the fucking border. They've held this up for 3 months, not letting any fucking bill pass through. Biden fucking capitulates. He's like, you know what? Sure. I'm going to get rid of the Dreamer Act. Right? The Dreamer Act is like, if you illegally come into the country, if your parents illegally come into the country and you're birthed in America and you live in America for your entire fucking life, so you are an American, right? Even though your family got in there, there's the Dreamer policy, which is like, hey, you're an American. He was like, you know what? I'm going to get rid of that. Which
So
is
that would get Natalie sent home.
Yes.
Home. Like place she's never been.
Yeah.
I think she went once when she was 12 or something.
They're like, Brian's like, fucking sure. If this is going to give us funding for the Ukraine war, absolutely fair enough. House Republicans have killed it fucking dead because they need chaos at the border, because that's the one thing that Trump is going to fucking run on is racism and just like fear mongering.
So if Biden has satiated their border angst, then Trump's got off an offer.
So the one thing they wanted, they got, and they've shot it fucking dead. But that doesn't matter, because that's not what's going to be reported on Fox, air quotes, news. They're just going to point out these little things that don't matter, that aren't true, and none of them have to be true, because again, because they're not a news network, they do not have to be fucking accurate. Tucker Carlson, one of the most dishonest men in the history of the fucking world, very openly, is in Russia now to interview Putin. Right?
Shut up.
And he's going to be, I'm the first Western media to get to interview him.
What he gets fucking Novichoked.
No, he's not. Putin is absolutely going to do it, because Tucker Carlson and Fox News are propaganda. They're propaganda. Putin runs his country on propaganda, right? And this is I don't think Theo Von is a particularly brilliant comedian. I've always enjoyed him as a personality. I've always enjoyed him.
I've never seen stand-up, but I've seen some great clips.
Great. He's very funny on fucking podcasts. And man, the guy had drug problems. The guy had drink problems. He's sober now. He seemed to be going through this thing of like being really sort of like smarter and more conscious and thing. He had fucking Tucker Carlson on his podcast, which for me is akin to...
And it wasn't a lot with Don Chinham.
No. It's akin to Joe Rogan having on fucking Alex Jones. You have this problem with fucking podcasting, this problem that Andrew Schultz does, this problem that fucking Joe Rogan does and Theo Von does, which is like, I don't want to tour as much anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my podcast big. And the way I can make my podcast big is, instead of being smart and fucking challenging and having a level of responsibility to challenging some of the worst people in the world, I'm going to have them on and just fucking humanize them. You have a responsibility to not humanize scum.
Some would say that way you microdose that by getting Elliot Steele on.
But he's not big and famous.
That's what I mean by microdose.
Aye. And so just like all morning, I'm just like, God is like, what's wrong? And I'm like, all of this is going to go through because America is a country that thrives not only on undereducation, but miseducation. When Biden loses, which he will, when Trump gets in, and when democracy falls in America, it's going to fall in the rest of the goddamn world. She's like, but you can't affect it. And I'm like, I know. And I wish I was like her. I wish I could just let this stuff not fill me with like blind hot fucking rage and sadness and...
that is how I was when Newcastle got taken over by the Saudis, and you had like Cullen and that were talking about the fucking human rights violations and stuff in Saudi Arabia, and I'm like, we wouldn't have getting Bruno Guimaraes and Mike Ashley. So there's not much I can do getting angry.
Look, if you're a fucking Yank, I know how fucking awful it must be to be given the two choices you're given, right? But you can't blame your two-party system on Joe Biden, right? Can you blame Joe Biden being the president on the Democrats? Absolutely. Are the Democrat Democratic Party consistently just a fumbling bunch of fucks who consistently lose unlosable elections? Absolutely. Absolutely. Would Mitt Romney have been the worst president in the world? Probably not.
Because that would have been Hillary Clinton.
No, I'm reading Obama's autobiography just to remind myself of
How far we've got, like how bad it's gone since then.
Man, one of the things that really made me upset yesterday, again, Cara's like, I don't know why you allow yourself to know these things and just make yourself sad. He was talking about when he was trying to win the Iowa caucus, and one of the gaffes that he made was he was talking about, because he was always opposed to the war in Iraq, even though Hillary Clinton and a bunch of Dems, especially Joe Biden, supported the war in Iraq. He ran on it being like, this was always going to be a mistake. This is like, there's ways to do it with diplomacy. There's ways to make sure that our allies fear us, but we give them the option to fucking work with us, all this stuff. And one of his early blunders and gaffes was, he says, I just can't believe all of the lives wasted in Iraq, right? And the media picked up on it being like, oh, you think soldiers should give their life for the country's wasted? And there's like this entire fucking 2-page bit where Obama was like, the second I said it, I regretted it. Because
it was like saying it was in vain.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to hear that kids died in vain.
Aye, but he was very aware of like, oh man, I know what I said and I know it came across. It's not what I meant, but I fully acknowledge that the word I used was callous and dismissive and awful. And it's something like, man, 9 years later when he's writing the book, he's like, I still regret my use of words saying that these lives were fucking wasted. Compared to...
You just say like wasted coming up on Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. Compared to Donald Trump, who at war memorials, seeing the names of all these people that died in America, for America in the name of their country, being like, what was in it for these losers? A direct quote.
Oh my God.
A direct fucking quote.
And it just doesn't get blown up. It doesn't become a thing. It doesn't stick.
And he's not going to write his own biography because the cunt can't fucking write.
It's like an exaggerated version of what was happening in the UK when like anybody from the Labour Party was saying anything, and it was like, I mean, somebody fucking had odd socks on or something and it got blown up. And then you get all these quotes from Boris Johnson calling like people, like kids born into wedlock bastards, pickaninnies and all that, watermelon smiles, this describing black people, and like all this stuff that's like in writing.
Aye.
Like it's on wax.
Yeah.
And like none of it stuck with him because like he's this fucking bumbling like, oh, the buffoon kind of guy. Yet like if any of the left like fucking go out and lie in the slightest bit, they're like, this fucking retard.
Aye.
While you've been looking up American news, did you notice that I think we nearly, but not quite, get hit by an infestation of bugs in America when we're on tour? It's happening, but we're just kind of on the outside of it. So there's these type of insect. I think like I'm tempted to say like locusts, but it's like the name begins with C. And I'm also tempted to say COVID because I've just read fucking Children of Time and they say COVID a million times. But it's caucus or something. Matthew's going to try and find out. But they have these like super broods where like they'll have like brood 11, right? And that comes up every like 13 years or something like that and does like a mating ritual and then disappears. So you get this like kind of swarm, like an infestation swarm of like mating insects, and then they go back to ground for another 13 years or something. And it's something like brood 7 and brood 12 who are on a cycle of 17 years and 13 years are coming up at exactly the same time, and there's set to be 1 trillion insects in the sky across like West Virginia and that kind of Tennessee and all that. We're going to be in Texas.
Oh boy.
On the date when there's this massive... Go on.
Is it the Mormon crickets?
Possibly.
I'm sorry.
Or cicadas?
Cicada, that's what I would have
Mormon crickets. They fucking go door to door, do they?
Yeah, knocking on doors.
Great. Mormon crickets, I would assume, is just the term that Mormons use whenever they knock on a door. And even though there's lights on inside, they can hear the volume on the TV being turned down. But still, like, no answer to the door. Would you like to hear about Jesus? Turn Fox News off. Turn it down.
It's quite cool. So it's more than 1 trillion cicadas will be coming to the US in an event that has not happened since Thomas Jefferson was president in 1803, where brood XIX, which arrives every 13 years.
XIX 19.
19,
and
yeah.
Brood XIII
13.
13, which arrives every 17 years, will arrive at the same time.
Oh, wow.
There's like an absolute event going to be happening in America when we're there.
How fascinating.
Isn't that great?
Aye.
Like, part of us disappointed that we're not going to be in amongst it. One of my like childhood memories from, when I used to go to Norfolk with me granddad and my auntie in the caravan.
Mm-hmm.
One of the times there, massive ladybird infestation. Like fucking sweep your arm through the sky like that and you could feel them like dinking off your arm. Like fucking loads of ladybugs. I've never known anything like it since after. I don't know if that's an annual event in Norfolk, like that kind of way, or if it was just an event that happened in my childhood. But I just, in the pool, in the resort, just fucking ladybugs just on it, like alive, dead, floating around, bobbing around in the water, like a carpet of ladybugs on the pool water. So I remember something like that in my lifetime, and it was like core memory.
Well, because we get fucking really bad midges in Scotland,
I
Devony.
that, but ladybugs is fine.
Aye.
I don't think they didn't bite, do they? Nah. They're harmless.
Not poisonous or anything.
They're not
they don't even like
Say
eat
the word again.
cicadas.
Cicadas.
Begin with a C.
So you confused me there. The word I kept looking for was Kaucuna, which is the evolution of Weedle in Pokemon.
It's just loads of Pokemon.
And I'm like, I don't think they can fly. It's only if they get to Beetle stage, then they can fly. And if there's an infestation of Beetles, we're fucked. Those aren't Butterfrees. Those are the fucking aggressive ones.
And you've been playing Pro Evo Pokemon, haven't you?
Pal World.
Pal World.
Which I am so... Pal World is this game that is just like a rip-off of several different games. They've nicked the entire engine of Zelda. They've nicked the noises off of Zelda. They've nicked the text off of fucking Zelda. They've just combined a bunch of different games. And it's very like open world Pokemon-y, but they've just made it funner than Pokemon. And people at Pokemon are fucking raging because they're like, we're going to sue you. But there's a big part of me that's like, that's what you fucking get for
Not giving the game that people wanted.
For 20 years. For 20 years, all Pokemon fans have begged for is give us open world Pokemon. Just give us open world Pokemon. And they were like, no, we're going to top down still. Or tell you what, we're going to give you Pokemon Go on your phone. And you're like, oh, can we battle each other? No, it's gambling for kids again. It's just you go into... You're like, we begged bit and bit. It's the Brandon Sanderson rule. If your fans ask for something for 10 to 15 years and you do not deliver it, people are absolutely allowed to rip off your fucking idea and do it better. Like that's on you. Yeah. Like for example, if my fans were absolutely desperate for me to do a show about miscarriages or abortions or the Holocaust, or Israel, Palestine.
The Middle East, would you do it? If everybody wanted to do it, surely not.
No, I wouldn't.
I was going to say.
But if for 10 years people were like, comment on the Middle East, comment on the Middle East, comment on the Middle East, and I didn't comment on the Middle East, after 10 years, you're allowed to use AI to
find out what I want to say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, you're not beholden to your fans at all. You're allowed to create art in the way you want. But if you purposefully just ignore what the people want for so fucking long, just through sheer laziness or cowardice, and then somebody goes, all right, I'm going to do my own version of it. Like, I would be like, this is really annoying because I didn't say any of those things and those aren't necessarily my opinions.
I want to see your AI coming out show.
Oh, yeah.
If I encourage anyone to go and have a look at Ryan Long's reel about an actor trying to decide who he's supporting in Israel-Palestine.
Yeah.
It is one of the fucking funniest clips about something actually horrendous that like you actually go, oh, but you haven't got it wrong. You've actually made it really funny.
He's not he's not making fun of
any of the victims. He's making fun of
the posturers on the outside.
Posturers. He's making fun of people who make it about them. And for me, it was the first thing that I've looked at and watched where I'm just like, oh, you fucking got the tone of that perfect. For getting a laugh out of something that's not funny.
Yeah.
Wrap this up and then have a drink and a piss and come back and do the bonus episode.
Let's fucking do
it.
If
there's anybody that that is like finishing listening to it now going, oh, I wish there was more. There's loads going on.
And also, if you're listening to this going, God, I wish there was a fucking less whiny version of this. Man, now that it's all off my chest, it'll be on the...
If you believe that, you'll believe
podcast.
anything.
Also, look, I know I've got a left-leaning fucking crowd, but I just want to really reiterate something to any Americans that might be on the fence. By the way, and if you are on the fence, thank you so much for still... I know that we're fucking left-leaning fucking libtard losers who piss and moan about the injustice of the world.
Don't follow me.
Right. The Mueller reports, even though they did not provide fucking conclusive evidence that Donald Trump colluded with the Russian government, which is neither here nor there, right? Even if he didn't, the whole thing was no collusion, and that was enough of a fucking soundbite for Donald Trump to get away with it. The one thing that the Mueller report categorically 100% without a shadow of a doubt proved that the 2016 election was interfered with by the Russian government. And the Russian government wanted to do one thing, and it was to sow divide amongst Americans by going on social media, by going on Twitter, by going on Instagram, by going on Facebook, and by just flooding social media with false reports to wind up both the right wing and the left wing, to split you guys down the middle so that you were as divided as you are now, to prop up Donald Trump. Now, whether Donald Trump colluded with him to do that, it doesn't fucking matter. Russia wants Trump in charge, because if Trump is in charge, he's going to make it America fucking first, and the rest of democracy in the world is going to fall, right? And I know this is from a fucking screaming, pissing, bitchy ass fucking liberal who listens to a couple of podcasts and reads an email every day and thinks he knows more about your country than you do. And man, fair enough. But the one thing you have to remember is, outside of your country, you're still the number one news story in the world, because the fate of the world is in your fucking hands. Please be compassionate in your fucking debates. Please try, and I know how hard it is to fucking lean across the fucking aisle, especially in such a divided country. But remember, your unwillingness to lean across and speak to your fellow Americans is exactly what fucking Russia wants.
Mission accomplished.
Aye.
And also, we are packaged as entertainment, just in case anyone thought that was a cutaway news story.
Yeah, aye.